Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing swatches with you from the brand Rogue Lacquer, which I hope I'm saying right. This is Rachel's brand from Ever After. Ever After has split ways and Miranda is still running Ever After, and Rachel went to her own brand, which is Rogue Lacquer. So I am sharing with you their debut collection, which is inspired by steampunk. She also is releasing a bunch of waxes and melts. I will leave all of the scents and information and pricing in the description box below, but I am go ahead and show you a few photos of it in this video. So this first collection consists of 4 beautiful, beautiful polishes that range from shimmers to hollows to flakies. And these release April 15th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. These will retail for $10 a piece or $38 for the set of 4. In the description box below, I will link the Rogue site as well as their Instagram page. I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of this collection. And I'll also link their Facebook fan page in case you're interested in following that as well. So we've got a quad of beauties here to share with you today, and let's go ahead and get started. So at first we have Blowing Off Steam, and this is described as a blue-gray steel cream with silver fleck, hollow, and a blue shimmer. So here's our first coat of Blowing Off Steam. This covers really well here on this first coat. It is a little bit sheer, so I'm going to go in for a second coat, but it is almost completely opaque in one coat. This has a really good formula, no running, pooling, staining, anything like that. So here's our second coat, and this was almost one coat, so it does cover completely in 2 coats. Those are little tiny micro glitters, so it is going to dry the slightest bit textured, and it is going to be the slightest bit difficult to remove, but nothing too bad. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Grinds My Gears, and this is described as a metallic bronzed gold with crimson shimmer and a micro hollow glitter and hollow sparkle. Here's our first coat of Grinds My Gears. This is again a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but it does cover pretty well. Again, a nice formula, no running, no pooling, not too thick, not too thin. Actually, these all have really magnificent formulas. Here's our second coat. And this one for me covers completely in 2 coats. Depending on the thickness of your coats, you may end up going for a third. This also dries slightly sandy feeling, like textured, but it doesn't apply that way. It applies really, really nicely, so it's going to be a little difficult to remove also, and there's 2 coats. Next up is Steampunk Fantasy, and this is described as a dreamy, soft lavender with hollow with intense copper shimmer. Here's our first coat of Steampunk Fantasy. This is pretty sheer here on this first coat. The shimmer in here is going to make it to where you're going to want to build it up to get the strongest shimmer possible, so that is why. But it also has that same magnificent formula that we've seen in the rest of this collection. Here's our second coat, and this built up really nicely in 2 coats, but I am going to go ahead and go in for a third because I can still see my nail line. Depending on your application of this, again, you may end up going okay on 2 coats like I did for my ring and middle finger. I usually do tend to do thinner coats on my pinky and first fingers. So here's 3 coats, and this covers completely in 3 coats for me. This one also dries shiny on its own, though I do recommend a top coat for longevity. This one's not going to dry textured, and it's not going to be difficult to remove by any means. So there's 3 coats. And then lastly for today we have Retro Future, and this is described as a minty seafoam green with copper, silver, bronze, and gold chrome flakies with turquoise sparkle and a soft linear hollow flame. And here's our first coat of Retro Future. Again, this is pretty sheer here on this first coat. That is so you can build those flakies up to make it look more 3-dimensional on the nail. You do get a ton of flakies out with this. I am trying to space them out pretty evenly. It's not difficult to do by any means. It's just something that I like to do so I don't get a cluster of them like I did on my first finger there. Again, this builds up nicely in 2 coats, but it's not completely opaque, so I am going to go ahead and go in for a third. This has a great formula, easy to use, easy to work with, no running, pooling, staining, anything like that here either. And this does cover completely in 3 coats for me. This one's also going to dry slightly textured and dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat. And it's not difficult to remove where you have to scrub it off or anything like that, but those flakies I realize do break up when I'm removing them, so they do kind of get everywhere. So there's 3 coats. And along with this release,
Rachel is doing these beautiful little waxes. So you can get 2 loaves of steampunk and diamond embedded for $13 for a 13.5 to 15 ounce set. And then the little melts you can get 4 ounces for $5 or 8 ounces for $8. And they do come in 3 debut sets, which comes in Just Peachy. It's described as a fruit blend of fresh peach, tangerine, and grapefruit. Carnival Confetti, which is described as a delicious fair cotton candy with a sweet marshmallow and notes of vanilla. And then Private Beach, which is described as a blackberry, sand, sea spray, magnolia, and jasmine with notes of mandarin.
So my favorites in this collection were Retro Future. This is the obvious choice. It is that turquoise shade that I am just drawn to. It's got the UCC flakies. It's just everything that I ever want in one polish, and it's beautiful. I mean, come on. But a surprise favorite for me is Steampunk Fantasy. I don't like wearing purple often or ever, but this is beautiful. Like, I put this on and I didn't want to take it off. I ended up painting all 10 of my nails and wearing it for the day, which is something kind of unheard of for me when it comes to purple polishes. So I thoroughly enjoyed this one. The formula on it is beautiful. The finish on it is beautiful. The color of it is beautiful. So highly recommend. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this collection. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.